Hey, welcome back to the Uncomfortable is Okay podcast. I'm your host, Chris Desmond. This is the show where we make you better at doing hard things. Today, I'm talking through another strategy to help you get out of your comfort zone. This one's called the cookie jar. So what is it? The cookie jar is a strategy where you utilize the power of all the good things that you've done before to just boost you through discomfort. So what you want to be doing is you want to list out a whole lot of things that you've completed already in your life that you're proud of. And these things don't have to be huge, but instead things that you're proud of and have a feeling of positivity around. You'll also want to make sure that you memorize at least some of this list, because when you find yourself in discomfort and struggling to keep moving forward, what you need to do is you need to reach into the jar for a delicious mental cookie to get some sustenance and get some positivity, which helps you get through the hard part. So where do I apply the strategy of the cookie jar? This strategy is best applied in the moment, so it works best when you're working through some tough times and you're thinking of quitting. And when you start thinking of quitting, be aware of this. Notice that's what you want to do, and then reach into your cookie jar for one of those moments that you feel proud of. This strategy is best used in the moment. It does take some preparation because it's really difficult to come up with positive past experiences and achievement in the moment that you're thinking of giving up and you're just in a world of hurt. But if you've got these prepared already, then it becomes much more simple just to reach in and pick one out. So spend some time writing down and going over these proud memories so that you feel the emotion associated with them and can start to recreate that in the tough times. So this strategy in action. Now this is a strategy that I have stolen, and I've stolen it off David Goggins, who is one of the baddest men on the planet. And I use baddest in a good way. And if you have never heard of him, do yourself a favor and look him up. So Goggins might not be your cup of tea, but he's really a shining example of pushing past the uncomfortable towards human potential. And if nothing else, he'll hopefully get you asking the question, what else might I be capable of? So Goggins, he wanted to run Badwater in 2006, which is one of the toughest ultramarathons around. And to get into this race, he needed to apply. And he was told that he needed to submit his running resume, including a 100-mile race. And at this point in time, he'd never run anything more than an unofficial marathon. And time was running out for him to do this stuff so he could apply. And chatting with the race director suggested that he try a 24-hour race called the San Diego One Day that was taking place 3 days from that conversation. So David laces up his shoes with no running preparation and gets ready to try and run the 100 miles so he can apply for Badwater. A little bit of context here, David is a Navy SEAL at this time and he's physically fit, but he's not running fit. So everything goes pretty well for him for the first 25 miles. And then the pain really starts to begin. His body slowly begins to break down. And as it does, his mind starts to go into some really, really dark places. But he battles on, and at mile 81, he's just about broken, and it doesn't look like he's going to make the 100 miles in 24 hours allocated to him. He's really thinking of giving up. His body's just about to give out. But then he starts to dig into his cookie jar. He thinks about his past victories, and he's been through some really, really hard stuff and come through the other side of it. So he was able to tap into the emotional state that he was in at those times. And tapping into that emotional state, the pain began to fade just enough and the adrenaline take over just enough for him to start to pick up the pace. Whenever that pain got too much for him, he dug back into the cookie jar and took another bite. So when he was in danger of not making the 100 miles in the 24 hours, This strategy managed to get David through, so he finished 100 miles in about 19 hours with no running preparation whatsoever, which is pretty impressive. So why does this work? When we've been beaten down to the point we're contemplating quitting, our attention tries to turn towards reasons that we should give up. It's really easy for our thoughts to come up with seemingly rational reasons we should just throw in the towel. But flipping our focus to the positive thoughts and feelings at this time doesn't allow those negative emotions and thoughts of giving up, doesn't let them have a foothold with us. So basically we're crowding out the negative with the positive, which is why it's important beforehand to train your ability to focus on the positive emotions of each memory. And the ability to focus on your past successes will get you going when the going gets tough, and also might just give you that boost that you need to get through things. So that's the cookie jar in a nutshell. This is one of the strategies that's going to be in the Get Out of My Comfort Zone book. So if you're interested in that at all, head over to getoutofmycomfortzone.com, pop your name down, and I'll make sure you keep updated with how the book's coming, where we're at with things when we're thinking of launching, and hook you up with some sweet deals on it when it comes out. I'm also running some coaching sessions for individuals at the moment as well, specifically focused around taking on challenges, battling overwhelm, improving your resilience, improving your mental fitness. If this is something that you're interested in and you wanted to have a chat with me about it, then flick me a message on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, or send me an email, uncomfortableisok@gmail.com, and happy to sit down and have a bit of a chat, see if I can help you out at all with that. Thank you guys so much for getting uncomfortable with me today, and we'll see you next week for another amazing uncomfortable episode.